everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today I brought out a Sony A7RIV with me to be able to just test out. I'm really interested in adding it to my camera gear, my workflow. I've been shooting Canon for almost a year now and I've really enjoyed it, so I'm not going to be leaving Canon at all. It's just that I want to add Sony into the mix, and I think the A7RIV could be a pretty good camera for this. So I'm just coming up the mountain where I live and seeing if I can find some cool images to take photos of and compare the two cameras a little bit. It's starting to snow now and there's not that much visibility, but I'll find a way to make this work. Anyway, I've got a long way to go up, so I'll see you guys once I get a little bit further. So I've got my Sony A7RIV onto my tripod here with an IRX 15mm, which is also for the Canon mount. I just wanted to compare the two cameras using the same glass. I think that's just the best way to do it because you're getting pretty much, the same kind of results. And so I'll be using mount adapters for this to make it work. So I've got a pretty simple composition here. There's a lot of trees, there's some mist coming in the background. You kind of see a little bit of the landscape in the background as well. But I just want to compare a little bit with the detail and the depth and bringing back color. There's not that much color now because of it being overcast and winter as well. It's a lot of white and some greens on these pine trees. So I just want to see what I can get out of it and make the most of it. The lens is also a manual lens, so I will be pretty much adjusting everything manually, which will make this probably a bit more fair as well with getting the focus exactly where I need it to be. I'm going to shoot at 1/25th of a second and my aperture is at f8. I've got my ISO down to 100, so I'm using a 5-second timer as well for this just to make sure I don't get any camera shake, and I'll be using the exact same settings on the Canon. But yeah, pretty simple. Let me take this shot and I'll see if I can get it to a little bit more artistic-y images. But I thought this would be a great way just to test a little bit of the depth and the detail. So anyway, let me just take this and we can take a look. So there's not too much of a difference between the two images, but I feel like the Sony's colors are a little bit easier to handle, a little bit more toned down, whereas the Canon just seems to make them pop a lot more, and there's a lot more red in it, which I don't like so much. But otherwise the images are very close in this case. So right now I've set up my Canon with the 70-200mm Sigma lens, and I've got this little tree here which is pretty dead. I just feel like it stands out quite a little bit. Also, when the mist comes through, it does single that tree out, and I think that's just what makes this a little bit more interesting. So I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer for that mist to come back in again and then get a shot with both cameras. I'm going to shoot wide open at f2.8 just so I get that tree to stand out that little bit more. I'm not worried about getting all that detail in the background, and then I'm going to shoot at 1/125th of a second. But one thing, especially in this weather, one thing I like about the Sony A7RIV now is that it's a little bit more weather sealed compared to the other Sonys, which just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with coming out in this weather and shooting and not having to worry about covering it that much. So yeah, that's always a helpful thing to have. Anyway, just let me get the shot with both cameras. I'm going to shoot vertically just so I fit that tree in and mainly just focus on the tree. But I think it'll be a nice little composition. So anyway, let's just check it out. So I've just got this little scene here with these two little pine trees in the snow, and I just love the way the snow is flowing around it. I'm going to shoot at 70mm for this, so I'm not going to get too much in here, but I'm going to shoot a little bit lower, so I'm not getting too much of that background in either. I'm going to get some of it in, obviously. I can't really block out those trees in the background, but I'll shoot this again at f2.8. and I've got my shutter speed at 1/250th of a second, and I've had to put up my ISO to 200. So I'll try and match the shot between the two cameras. The fact that I'm in snow here, I'm able to see exactly where I was, so it shouldn't be too hard to be able to copy the scene. Yeah, nice little image. So I think it'll work. It's got quite a lot of detail in this little tree, and because I'm a little bit closer, I'm getting a little bit more out of it as well. And I'm not shooting something that's too far away. But yeah, I think this could work out quite nicely. So let's just take a look. Okay, so I'm gonna start heading my way back down now, and there's a lot more snow coming in, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring you guys along and just share with you what I'm doing, because I wanted to put both cameras up to each other. It's not exactly a versus video, it's just more to see using the cameras both in the same way as I normally would, and just see what kind of results I get from both cameras. Look at the images and see what I like about each one. But as I said, I'm not getting rid of the Canon. It's just that I might be adding the Sony A7RIV into my camera gear. So just wanted to bring you out along the ride as I test it out. And also what I'll do at the end of the video is I'll share some of the photos I have taken with the Sony A7RIV along the past couple of days. I've been to a few other spots where I've taken some photos. There's been some sunlight, so I've tested it out with some lights as well. But yeah, if there's anything else that maybe you guys would like me to do in the next video, or you'd like to see with either the Canon EOS R or the Sony A7 IV, just leave a comment below and let me know about it. Maybe I can put something together, but I'll just have to see what I can come up with. Otherwise, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you like the images, let me know what you liked about them. And yeah, hit that bell notification so you get notifications of when I put out my next video. But otherwise, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all next time.